On December 20th, KST, a moment quietly unfolded that many fans had waited nearly a decade to see. There was no countdown, no teaser, and no dramatic build-up across headlines. Instead, the news arrived simply. Actors Kim Woo-bin and Shin had tied the knot. After 10 years together, they were officially married. For those who had followed their story closely, the announcement didn't feel sudden. It felt inevitable, like a conclusion that had been forming patiently for years. What made the news resonate so deeply was not the surprise of marriage itself, but the journey behind it. In an industry where relationships often burn brightly and disappear just as fast, Kim Woo-bin and Shin had moved differently. Their relationship was never built on visibility. It was built on consistency. Their story became public in 2015, when their agencies confirmed they were dating. At the time, this alone was notable. Public confirmations were rare, and long-term openness even rarer. Yet from that moment, they chose a steady middle ground. They did not hide, but they also did not display. They existed quietly, side by side, choosing privacy over performance. For years, fans noticed the pattern. Separate arrivals at events. Minimal mentions in interviews. No social media displays. And still, no rumors of trouble. Their relationship became something stable in a space where stability is often questioned. Over time, that consistency turned into trust. Fans trusted that whatever they were building it carefully. Then came 2017. Kim Woo-bin's diagnosis with nasopharyngeal cancer halted everything. His career paused. Public appearances stopped. Projects disappeared. The entertainment world shifted its attention elsewhere, but fans did not forget. The silence surrounding his condition was heavy, filled with concern and uncertainty. Questions flooded online spaces, not about his next role, but about his health, his future, and whether he would return at all. During this period, Shin never positioned herself as part of the narrative. There were no statements about standing by him. No interviews about sacrifice. But those close to the situation later revealed what fans had already sensed: she was there. She adjusted schedules. She remained present. She chose proximity over publicity. Fans noticed subtle things. Her reduced appearances. The seriousness in her demeanor when she did attend events. The absence of promotional distractions. And slowly, the story of their relationship shifted from romance to resilience. It was no longer about how long they had been together. It was about how they endured. As Kim Woo-bin went through treatment and recovery, Shin continued her work, but with a noticeable grounding. Interviews from that period carried a different weight. She spoke about health, gratitude, and time, not ambition. Fans connected those words to what she was living privately. When Kim Woo-bin eventually returned to the public eye, the reception was emotional. His comeback was not framed as a triumphant celebrity return, but as something deeply human. And standing behind that return was the quiet knowledge that he hadn't faced that chapter alone. Years passed. Their relationship continued without milestones announced to the public. No engagement confirmations. No wedding rumors addressed. Fans speculated, but without urgency. There was an unspoken understanding that this couple moved on their own timeline. So when December 20th arrived, and the marriage was confirmed, the reaction was not shock, it was release. A sense that something long protected had finally reached its rightful moment. The ceremony itself reflected everything fans had come to associate with them. It was private. Intimate. Held in Seoul with only family and close friends present. There was no red carpet, no press line, no external performance. It was a moment designed for the people who had walked alongside them through every unseen chapter. As the ceremony began, the decade they had spent choosing each other quietly reached its most visible point. Inside that private space, the atmosphere was described by those present as calm and deeply emotional. There was no excess, no spectacle, no attempt to turn the moment into something larger than it was. Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-it are stood together not as stars, but as two people who had already experienced life's extremes together: joy, fear, uncertainty, and healing. Lee Kwang-soo, a close friend, served as the MC. His presence wasn't symbolic of celebrity status, but of genuine friendship. It added warmth and familiarity, grounding the ceremony in shared history rather than formality. Guests later shared that the tone felt sincere, filled with laughter, quiet emotion, and gratitude rather than grandeur. When official wedding photos were eventually released, fans finally saw what the couple had chosen to share. The images were restrained yet powerful. Elegant without excess. And one detail stood out immediately: the snow. Soft snow framed the couple, creating a visual that felt almost unreal. Many fans described it as cinematic, like the final scene of a drama that didn't need dialogue to communicate its meaning. The imagery resonated because it mirrored the relationship itself: calm, steady, and quietly beautiful. Shin Min-it's gown reflected her signature elegance. Timeless rather than trendy. There was nothing overpowering about it, yet everything about it felt intentional. Kim Woo-bin stood beside her with a presence that fans described as grounded and peaceful, a contrast to the uncertainty that once surrounded his public life. The response online was immediate and emotional. Fans across countries shared congratulations, not just celebrating the wedding, but the journey that led there. Many expressed gratitude for seeing a relationship that survived pressure without spectacle. Gratitude for witnessing love that was never marketed, only lived. In the context of Korean entertainment, this marriage carried weight beyond personal happiness. It challenged long-standing norms about celebrity relationships. It showed that longevity doesn't require constant visibility. That privacy doesn't mean distance. That love doesn't need validation to be real. Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-it didn't rush toward marriage. They didn't respond to public timelines. They waited until life felt settled, until health was restored, until certainty replaced uncertainty. That patience became the foundation of their union. As they move forward, both continue their careers with intention. Projects remain lined up. Work continues. But there is now a new layer to their story, one built not on speculation, but on partnership. For fans, this wedding wasn't just a milestone. It was reassurance. Proof that some stories are worth waiting for. Proof that consistency matters more than visibility. Proof that love can grow quietly and still endure. On December 20th, Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-it didn't just get married. They affirmed 10 years of choosing each other, away from noise, away from pressure, and without compromise. And in an industry defined by constant attention, their quiet ending and beginning became one of the loudest statements of all.